What's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. I am Harrison and you are here for Tutorial Tuesday. Growing up, I always loved Pokemon, and it was always an internal battle on whether I liked grass or water type Pokemon. It was either between Squirtle or Bulbasaur, and it was always an internal fight for me, and I wish I could just mash them together, but sadly we can't. But anytime I would play any Pokemon video game, I would always go with Bulbasaur. I just loved his evolution, and he was just always fun to play with. So today we are drawing Bulbasaur.
It's Bulbasaur! Bulbasaur! How are you doing?
So grab your pencils, pens, sketchbooks, and Pokeballs, and let's dive on into this one. Just like last week, we are going to flip our sketchbook horizontally so that we can get the most maximum space with our Bulbasaur here. So off center, just to the left, we are going to draw a circle. And then from there, we are going to draw another larger circle. This is going to help make up the head and body of our Bulbasaur. Because Bulbasaur's back is not exactly a circle, we are going to round this down and then add another circle right there for the back of his legs. Now, speaking of his legs, we are going to start dashing those in. Right here, we're going to add a circle. And then right here, we'll add one and then two. His back leg should be bigger than this front one. And we can't forget his fourth one, which will be back there. And then if we want to, we can right now indicate his bulb on the back, which is just a circle. It should be about the same size as his head. And I know this looks like a lot of different circles. It looks very confusing, but don't worry, we will get all of the detail plotted out. But these are the basic shapes that you will need to achieve your Bulbasaur drawing. So let's start with the head. What we're going to do is divide this into 4 quadrants. Just like that, make a T-pose. And we're going to start by adding in the eyes. Halfway in between this section, in the middle of the line, we are going to add Bulbasaur's eye, which is a soft rounded triangle. And we can mimic this shape off on this side, and it's going to be pretty much right on the edge of this circle. And they should roughly be in the same plane. And then Bulbasaur's mouth, you're gonna come to a point here, come all the way just under that eye. Now Bulbasaur's ears are very tiny. He doesn't have giant ears, and they're almost the same shape as the eyes. So just about almost in the same plane, we're gonna start a little triangle just like that. And then the same thing on this side. Because this ear is tucked behind, it's going to be in the center of this eye shape. And just even shorter. Before we get to the rest of the body, we'll finish up with the head. So following this line here, we are going to come to a point just to the side of the mouth, right about there. And then from there, we're going to follow this circle and connect right back to this line. We're going to go all the way down. This should all round up into that here. Just like so. And now for the legs. So for the front leg, keeping it right in line with this eyeball, we can just go ahead and kind of start squaring this off. And then this is going to connect upwards. And then the same thing with this one. Square it off, but keep the backside rounded. And then with the back leg, it's going to be rounded on both sides. It's going to be like the fat, chunky leg. So So it's just gonna be like a round kind of ball all the way through. And then this back leg is just a round nub. Perfect. Now I know it's looking a little messy, but let's add a few more details in before we erase and start cleaning up all of our lines. So we're gonna add the bulb that makes up Bulbasaur. We are probably running out of room here. Let's see if we can make it fit, but we wanna use this circle, and starting about just at this last like third of the back, we're going to kind of make like this dumpling bulb type shape. And it should meet in almost the center of his head. And then it will come to like a little point here. We will exceed the paper, which is okay. And that is our generic shape. And this is everything we need for Bulbasaur. This is all of the shapes and the main key pieces that make up the contents of Bulbasaur. So what am I gonna do? That's a great question. I'm gonna take my kneaded eraser and lightly erase everything we just did. No, don't do that.
Now that just pisses me off.
It's all good. And as I said, we're lightly erasing. So I'm gonna take my 6B pencil, which is a soft lead. It's much darker than a HB. And we're gonna go through and pretty much outline everything that we want to keep. All right, so this is exactly where we just left off. I have now just cleaned up the lines so we can get to the next part of the drawing, which is adding all of the detail. So we can add in Bulbasaur's eyes. About halfway in the middle of this, we're gonna add in his pupil and retina. You just have to worry about rounding it on one edge. The rest is just gonna fill into this corner. And then you can add in a circle. And then we can mimic this on the same side, or opposite side. And then you're gonna shade in that pupil. For the mouth, you're gonna come just in this like third half of this eye. And you're gonna follow the curve. Don't have to come to an exact point here, but it should follow this shape. And then come up. You're not meeting this line there. You're only coming in a little bit. You can add the tongue and his little tiny fangs. Oh, and then don't forget his nostrils. Shade in darkness in his mouth, and we can add his toenails. So each foot has 3 toenails. The first one's going to be right here. It's going to be a little bit bigger. You're going to draw like an obtuse triangle. One there, one smaller one there, and then another smaller one hidden in the back, just to help show that his foot has some 3D dimensionality. This one hidden in the back, it's a little tiny one. This goes right on the corner, and then you're gonna kind of draw like a 3D pyramid here, just to help show that this foot is angled towards us. So you'll draw like a diamond shape. Pretty much for all 3 of these ones. And then for this back one, it'll be almost like a combo of all 3. Now we can focus on this bulb part. I actually made those 2 angled. They need to be more like rounded. So this middle part of the bulb will come down, follow the curve. This part of it will also swoop in, follow that curve, and then from here And then for the rest of the detail, we need to add in all of his spots. Oh, I also forgot the eyelid line. So we need to add in all the spots. He's got a nice size one here, another one here, one right there. And these are not any specific kind of shape. They seem kind of random when you're looking at a reference photo. They're all kind of randomized shapes. If you want to copy the exact Bulbasaur from Pokemon, you can. I would just Google an image of Bulbasaur and copy the exact same pattern that you want. Otherwise, you can just add your own squiggles and shapes and put them into your own positions. That way, you have your own kind of unique Bulbasaur, and it's not the one like right from the show, unless that's what you want. And that's it. That is everything right there. Boom. There are a few things I want to change. I want to erase this line because we want to show that there's a gap in the back there. I want to show that there's a break here. Not every single one of your lines needs to be connected. I think that's important to know, like when you're inking and when you're drawing, that not every line needs to be connected. Things can be suggestions. We want to show that it's part of this part of the body as well, and that it's not just a head or some sort of shape just plopped onto the rest of the body. So moving on to inking, I'm going to take my 0.8 micron fine liner, and we're going to start top to bottom, left to right as always, and just start inking this. I am going to slide in a piece of paper below so that the ink doesn't bleed. And that's it. There's the inking. This was super fun. I always love inking. It's like my favorite part of the process. It just kind of pulls everything together and kind of just solidifies your piece. So what I'm going to do now is let this sit and dry, let the ink soak into the paper for about 15 to 20 minutes. That way when we go to erase, we won't have anything smudge, tear, or smear. So we'll come back in about 15-20 minutes and erase. Using my kneaded eraser, after waiting 20 minutes, we're gonna go back in and lightly erase. We still wanna press light. All of your pencil drawings should have been light enough that you don't need to press so hard. If you do, I would suggest drawing a little bit lighter next time. Or we can go back in with a plastic eraser. So, as you can see, I didn't take my advice I just gave you, and I'm going to need to take my plastic eraser and go in and get some of these lines out. And there we have it, my friends. There is Bulbasaur. I think this one is so fun. This is such an awesome drawing and a great addition to the sketchbook. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Once you do, hit that bell notification so you know when I upload the next Tutorial Tuesday. If for some reason you did not enjoy today's lesson, please let me know down in the comments why that is. I would love to help you better learn the drawings that you want to know how to draw. And on that note, if there's a character that you would like to know how to draw but have yet to see in the playlist, please let me know who that character is and I will add them to the ongoing list. I want you to know how to draw the characters that you really want to know how to draw. After all, drawing is about having fun, so I want you to have the most fun that you can possibly have. If you've been following Tutorial Tuesday for the last few months, I would love to see all of the progress that you are making. Please tag me in social... If you've been following Tutorial Tuesday for the last 8 or so months, I would love to see all of the progress that you're making. Please tag me in any and all social media posts that you make. You can also follow me on social media and see all the things that I'm doing day to day, as well as the other tips and tricks that I am posting frequently. Thank you again so much for joining me on another awesome Tutorial Tuesday. Keep practicing, never give up, always keep drawing. I will see you right back here next Tuesday for another awesome, fun tutorial. Bye, guys.
Bulbasaur.